example. That's just one example. So the things you need to do, one, be bold enough to ask questions. Be bold enough to ask questions. First Samuel 17:26. It says, David asked the soldiers standing nearby, what will a man get for killing the Philistines and ending the defense of Israel? Who is this pagan Philistine anyway? That he is allowed to defy the armies of the living God? He was bold. He was bold. You didn't understand that David was he's young. He's like he's the last born. But he was bold enough. It was like, who is this? Who is this Philistine? Who is it daring? Does he know? We are the children of God. No, I don't think they say they were. But we serve a living God, sha. I don't think they were children then. But he knew the God he was serving. He was so bold. He was bold enough to ask questions. You need to be bold enough. You need to be bold. And boldness comes from the confidence you have in God. And it goes back to knowing God. But you need boldness. You need to be bold enough to ask questions. And not just even to ask questions. You need to be bold enough to confront the devil. How dare you? When the devil comes to condemn you, after maybe you sin and then you ask God for forgiveness and then you're moving on with your life and devil comes to condemn you, you will say, therefore there is no condemnation. When devil comes to say you can't prosper in this life, your own have already finished. Your own don't finish. Sakpa don't catch you. Sakpa don't catch you. Devil say those things. Your own doesn't. You cannot make it in life again. I will make it. You will tell him, I will make it in this life. I will prosper in everything I do. Prosperity is mine. You have to be bold enough to even stand to the devil. You have to be bold enough to stand for Christ outside when it's not your private room. I'm not talking about your quiet time. Yes, there's quiet time, but outside in front of the whole world. In school, when they are saying, oh, do this, oh yes, do you agree? No, I don't, because my God does not support this. No, you don't cower. We are not cowards. He has given us courage. He has given us boldness, the spirit of boldness, confidence. So we stand for God. That's how to be a giant slayer. Be bold enough. When you need to ask questions like David needed to. It was like, who is this Philistine? Who is he? This person that was, is not one small boy his age, oh. This Philistine is not one small boy his age. You know Goliath now. Someone that is giant is a giant, like Oak. I'm not sure if they call, but you know how giant is a giant, not one regular human being size, giant. And this small boy is saying, who is this Philistine? Because he knows his God, the boldness he has. So be bold enough to ask questions and be bold enough to stand for God. To even, and that question that I asked to led him to. It led David to being able to knowing what's going on and everything, because they answered him and everything. Number 2 thing you need to do, you need to be focused on God. 1 Samuel 17:28. Sorry. 1 Samuel 17:28 and then 28 says, but when David's older brother Eliab heard David talking to the men, he was angry. What are you doing around here? He demanded. What about those few sheep you were supposed to be taking care of? I know about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle. Even his brother was putting him down. But David did not allow him. Now let's go to verse 34, 36, and 37. Verse 34 to 36 says, but David persisted. I have been taking care of my... David persisted. Okay, so let me read from 28 to 37 real quick. It says 28. Yeah, but when we already read 28, so I'll start from 29. What have I done now? David replied. I was only asking a question, Abby. He walked over to some others and asked them the same thing and received the same answer. Then David question was reported to King Saul. So it was going around asking people question, who is this Philistine? What is going on? What's going on? And 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 then David's question was reported to King Saul, and the king sent for him. Don't worry about this Philistine, David told Saul. I will go fight him. A chunchulu boy. Small boy. Don't be ridiculous, Saul replied. There is no way ridiculous. Saul replied. There is no way you can fight this Philistine and probably win. You are only a boy. He's been a man of war since his youth. It's not that Goliath started to fight. David have never fought before in his life. Fight in a war in his life. He was just taking care of sheep. It's not that this is Goliath's first fight. No. He has been fighting since his youth. But David persisted. I have been taking care of my father's sheep and goats. He said, when a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by jaw and club it to death. So David might not have been fighting in a war. It might not have been, but the little things he's been doing, how he's been saving his sheep, how he's been fighting bears, and he had a track record. He knew the things. He's been doing other things. It's not his first experience fighting. He had trained himself with. He didn't even know that this day was going to come. But he was faithful in the little things, in taking care of the sheep. He was faithful in it because he would save them, he would make sure that they are protected, he would protect them as much as he can. So let's continue. Where is it? Okay, 36. I have done this to both lion and bears. I will do it to this pagan Philistine too, for he has defied the army of the living God. His focus was still because of God. How dare you defy the army of the living God? Because he is God. You cannot. The army of that was what was paining David past. My own God. My own God. How dare you? Let's continue to 37. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and bear will rescue me from this Philistine. He had a track record with God. David has a track record with God. God has saved him from bears. He has saved him from lions. He knows, he has so much faith in God, and his focus was on God. His focus was not, I'll go and fight these giants because, yes, they must see that I'm the anointed. No. His focus was, how dare you do this to the armies of the living God? It was still for God. His focus was on God. And he knew that it was only God that could save him. He had faith. His confidence in God there. No be here. He was so confident. He's so confident in God. He had all the faith in God that God would save him. So he saved me from bears. He had a track record. He has a track record with God. You need to have a track record with God. But how can you have a track record with God when you don't know the God? So think about that. You can't have a track record with God when you don't know the God. So be focused on God. He did not take his focus. This is after David has been anointed, though. This was not before, it's after. His focus was still the army of the living God. While doing all the things, it's for God. It's for God. It's for God. So when somebody wants to come and scatter our work, you cannot come. This set that we are on is honestly for God. We are ambassadors on this earth. Ambassadors on this earth. Everything we do here, that was the mindset that David had. You want to touch army of God, army of the living God. Who you be? So his focus was on God, and you need to be focused on God. You need to set your face like a flint that cannot be moved. Isaiah 57 verse 7 says, I set my face on like a. I don't want to paraphrase or quote, so let me actually go there. Isaiah 57. I heard this from Mama actually. So she's on flint mode. And David was constantly on a flint mode. You have to constantly be on flint mode. Isaiah 57 says, okay, let me use another translation to actually talk about flints. Oh no, sorry. Okay, so ESV Isaiah 57 says, "But the Lord God helps me, therefore I will not be disgraced. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be put ashamed." David set his face like a flint. You need to set your face like a flint and know that you'll not be put ashamed. So when we go out there and when we preach, when we talk about Jesus, talk about it with your full chest. Go out there and set your face on God, set your focus on God. And when you do that, what others do to you won't really shake you as much as it would, because your focus is on Jesus. But I'm doing all this for Jesus. Yes, you insult me, pay me, but we move on. We move on. They slap me, pay me, but we move on. That's why when you are constantly thinking about that, when you're constantly thinking about the fact that, or you're constantly having that mindset that my face, this is for God, this is for God, this is for God. Set my face, sorry, you set your face like a flint, that this, I'm doing this right here for God, is to move this kingdom forward. When your mind is constantly like that, you won't even have time to be fighting about that. You said this to me, you don't say this to me. No, we have to keep working. We don't even have enough time. We don't know when Jesus will come. So let's continue. We have to keep working. When you have that mindset, when you see Christian projects, you will promote it. You'll not be thinking, oh, this has nothing to do with my church. This is not my church. I have to go. I can't do this. This is not my church. I don't care what church it is. We share. Because it's kingdom enhancement, where kingdom advancement. That's our sole purpose in this life, to bring souls to Christ. So whatever people do to us, we flint mode. It pain me small, but we move. And when you have that mindset, you don't even have room for offense in your heart. You know that my heart is too important. My heart needs to be clear. It's too important for my heart to be clear than to have offense. I can't afford it. I can't afford to have offense in my heart. That's one of the reasons why forgiveness is a little bit easier for me than it used to be, because I struggle with forgiveness. I used to struggle with forgiveness. But when I had the understanding that, when I had the understanding that it's too, this life, my heart is needed. God needs my heart. I need to be able to hear God. Hearing God is more important to me than holding grudges, than holding that someone did this to me, but than holding offense in my heart, because it hardens your heart towards God. So you will not be able to hear God clearly. You will not be able to be sensitive. But when you free yourself of that offense, you will be able to be sensitive enough. You will be able to hear God, at least for me. So when I'm like, it's more important, I need to hear God on a daily basis. I need to hear him today. So I don't even have time to hold offense in my heart. I forgive you, be going. Do what you do, pay me, but I forgive you, just be going. Because my heart is needed for other things than offense. For my own sanity, for my own good, I will just forgive you for my own good. So when I forgive, or when we forgive, you have to think, I'm forgiving this person not because this person will think go scot-free. I'm forgiving for my own good, so my own heart will be soft, so I can hear my God. That's part of being what is like setting your face like a flint. Your focus needs to be on God. It needs to be on God. And when our focus is on God, a lot of things that we tolerate, a lot of things that we pay too much attention to, you would not pay attention to it. Like that it's Satan. It's not even a nuisance. It's an enemy. So that's number 2. Be focused on God. Number 3, have a track record with God. Like I said, David had a track record with God. God has helped him fight bears. He has fought lions. He has a track record. He knows that the God that helped me to do these things, he can help me. Who be Goliath? Who's Goliath before my God? Who's Goliath before my God? He has a track record with God. He has a track record with God. So you need to have a track record with God. There are times where, I've believed God for this thing, and I've seen it work out. I've seen God help me. I've seen God do this for me. I've seen God save me. I've seen God help me. God has been with me at my lowest. He has been comforting me. When you have track record with that, when God tells you to go something, or when you want to stand in boldness, or when you want to face a situation, it will not be hard for you, because you know your God. You know your God. Okay, okay, it's not the last one. The fourth thing you need to do is, and you have to be intentional about doing these things, intentional about changing your mindset. You have to be intentional. So number four is be you. You have to be you. Don't put on an act or a facade. You have to be you. You might not be expecting this, but honestly be you. Verse 13, first Samuel, what's not first Samuel 17. Yeah, 17. Verse 38. 17:38. It says, Saul clothed David with his armor. He put a helmet of bruise on his head and clothed him with a cloth of mail. And David striped his sword over his armor. And he tried in vain to go for. Okay, let me use another translation. Sorry. Okay, New Living Translation says, then Saul gave David his own armor, a bruised helmet, and a coat of mail. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such thing. I can't go in these. He protested to Saul. I'm not used to them. So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. David was himself. When he was the thing was heavy. Someone, my other cannot work. Say, King Saul, man, I can't wear this thing. No, I can't wear it. It's not for me. You have to know what's for you. So be you. David didn't say, oh, I'm before the king. Yes, I have to dress like an army. And he's now walking and he cannot even move. He cannot. How did he? He took what he knows. He took the tools he knows how to use best. He was himself. He said, King Saul, I'm sorry, sir, but I cannot wear this thing. It's too heavy. I don't know how to. I'm sorry, guys, for any external noise or anything. I'm so sorry. But yeah, David was himself, and you need to be yourself. You need to be authentic. Be authentic. You need to be yourself. You can't put on an act. Don't put on a facade. Don't put on an act. Honesty. Be honest with yourself. If you put on an act, you even get tired of it. So for the rest of your life, you put on an act. Be you. Because even putting on an act, you won't be able to win the souls God wants you to win. God won't even be. God, honesty is very big. God hates deceit. God hates fakeness. Be real. Be authentic. Be authentic. Be yourself. If you don't like something, don't form like you like it. If you don't know how to do something, don't be forming things that you know you cannot do. If you are not used to buying designer, don't say you buy designer. If you did not travel, say I did not travel. I'm just home all this summer. I'm not even traveling. It will not kill you. Are they going to give you money when you lie? They're not going to give you money. So do not put on a facade. Be yourself and let God use you. Because how do God don't even want to use you if you are not showing the real you? Who are you deceiving? Be you, be yourself, and let God use you the way you are. Let God use you the way you are. And the last thing is faith. You need faith. You need to have faith in God. David had faith in God. He knew that my God will help me fight Goliath. Mind you, he's a small boy. Imagine me now. The last time I should go and fight one giant. Or I would not even volunteer myself because it's not send me. I volunteer myself. It is where you need faith. David had faith in God. It was not just one small boy's age, a giant. That even the soldiers, his big brothers, his elder brothers, even the one that tried to put him down, even his elder brothers, they could not fight. The armies, people died. Armies died. The Israelites died to fight Goliath. And then David came. This small spoon boy like this. It might be a small boy, but big God. Small boy, but a big God. A small boy with a big God. He had faith in God that God will help him fight. He had faith. He knew that it's God. His faith, and you need faith to even be a Christian. To even believe that Jesus died on the cross. You need faith because we were not there. But we know that our Jesus died for you. You know that Jesus died for you on the cross. You need faith to believe that Jesus died for you on that cross. To be a Christian self, you need faith. Talk less of. That's why faith is like oxygen. Faith is oxygen. You need oxygen for you to be able to be alive. That's how important you need faith as a Christian. You need faith for you to be able to be spiritually alive. You need faith for you to do things. In anything you do, you need faith. Faith without works is dead. That's not the verse I want to use. But yes. You also need to do the working. Yes, faith without work is dead. You need to do the working. But you need faith. When God says, I will do this for you. When God says, I will give you the nations. You will stand before kings and not men. Have faith. You will prosper in every currency. Have faith. None shall be barren in the land of the living. None shall be barren, you will not be barren. You have your children. And be constantly in faith. Daily. Faith is a daily work. It's not just, oh, I'm tired, I can't be in faith again. Okay, it's daily. It's daily. Be constantly in faith. We walk by faith and not by sight. Be constantly in faith. Constantly in faith. Faith over fear. Choose faith over fear. Constantly choose faith over fear. So let me share you one of my faith stories. One of my faith stories. Which one like this? Okay, so let me share a story with you. Right? So it's a faith story really. So there was this day, and I don't think I've ever shared this testimony. Okay, have I? Yeah, I think I have. So I have. So last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I was having irregular periods. My periods was not regulating. I would have periods for like 2 months, 1 month straight, and then not see it for like the next 3 months and everything. And when I would read articles, I would search it up, what causes regular periods and everything. And I've been having that for 3 years straight, 3 to 4 years straight. And it's now like, this is not even working. Everybody, and I would get bloated, I would lose a lot of blood, I would get bloated and everything. And then I searched online and I saw that was symptoms of PCOS. I entered the bathroom one day, I was looking in the mirror and I was like, sickness has no place in me. And I thank God for Pastor Mildred, because I heard her talk about our own story and I've heard her talk about faith and everything. But I entered the bathroom and I'm like, I cannot be sick. PCOS has no place in me. I was just calling any sickness I could be. It's not even, the doctor didn't even confirm that it was PCOS, but I was suspecting, and it was symptoms of that I was seeing. So I was like, I was like, I cannot, sickness has no place in me. I was saying scriptures, by his stripes I am healed. Disease has no place in me. Sickness has no place in me. I cannot have PCOS. PCOS has no place in me. Nothing. My period will be regulated and everything. And I just prayed that day and I moved on. And even sometimes my mom was worried. She asked me, how's your period? She's constantly asking me. I'm like, it's fine. Symptom. But I was not worried. I had peace. I was not even worrying myself. I was not even worrying myself at all. I was not worrying myself. I just kept going with my life. And I could gladly tell you that I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital for checkup and everything, and then my doctor said my iron was low. They gave me this iron medicine. I just started using iron medicine, because I felt a leading to actually go to the hospital. And then they gave me the medicine for my iron. They said it was low, and then I started using the medicine, and then my period started to regulate. But I even stopped using the medicine. My spirit was still regulating, and I knew my name, that it was God who healed me. Because it could have been into a whole nother thing. Could have gone to the doctors, they could have checked me, they could have said, oh, you had PCOS and leave. No, I knew the God I served. I know that I cannot be sick. Somebody else can be sick, but not me. Like, sickness has no place in me. Like, I know that I had faith in God that He would heal me. It would heal me, and It did. And now I am doing very well. I'm doing very well. But that's just to show you that you need faith. Imagine if I didn't have faith, I'm crying, hey, my own is done. Because PCOS, actually, if you have PCOS, you can't have children. You'll be bleeding excessively. So that I could have been wailing and crying and I'm pitying myself. No, I said, no, not be me. It can, like, these symptoms, it cannot be me. No, I'm healed by stripes. And I'm grateful today because my faith, like, your faith can never go to waste. God has already given it to you. You just have to have faith to receive it. He has given you good health. You need faith to receive it. He has given you that prosperity or whatever, that wisdom you need in your school. You just need to receive it. But you have to have a track record with God. You have to have a track record with God. And faith, you need faith. Like I said, faith is like oxygen. Faith is like oxygen to a Christian. You literally need it. You need faith. So yeah, that's all we're gonna be teaching today about giant slayers, or I'm going to be teaching today about giant slayers. Before, wait a minute, we're not done yet. I want us to say this declaration. So it's a declaration I make. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. So I want us to say this declaration as giant slayers that we are. Your age, whether you are old or young or small, you are a giant slayer because you are a Christian. You're a giant slayer. There is no age, and you can never be too young to serve God. You can never be too young. There's nothing like, oh, I'm too young. Even if you are 10 years old, I've seen 10 years old. I've seen young children that are way younger than me. They prophesy. They do miracles. They do, like, God walked through them. Your age does not really matter. The age does not matter. The age does not matter at all.